Imagine a world where history took a terrifyingly different turn. A world where Germany won World War II. What would our lives look like today? Would the world still remember democracy, freedom, and human rights? Or would fear and oppression dominate every aspect of society? In this video, we will explore the chilling possibilities if the Axis powers, led by Nazi Germany, had emerged victorious in 1945. To understand this alternate history, we must first identify the pivotal moments where history could have changed. What if Operation Barbarossa had succeeded? What if the Allies had failed at Normandy, leaving Western Europe under Nazi control? Imagine the consequences of a successful German invasion of Britain, forcing Winston Churchill into exile or surrender. Each of these turning points could have created a chain reaction leading to global domination by the Third Reich. In a world dominated by Germany, Europe would have been reshaped under Nazi ideology. Democratic governments would be replaced by puppet regimes. Cities would be forced to adhere to the strict racial laws of the Nazis. Jewish communities and other targeted minorities would face systematic extermination, continuing the horrors of the Holocaust on a scale unimaginable. Education, media, and art would be strictly censored to propagate Nazi propaganda. Freedom of speech, thought, and religion would vanish almost entirely. One of the more chilling aspects of a Nazi victory could be the technological landscape. Germany was already pioneering rocketry and jet technology. In this alternate timeline, it is likely they would have accelerated their research, potentially developing advanced weaponry decades ahead of schedule. But imagine this progress under a regime obsessed with war and control rather than human rights and collaboration. Scientific breakthroughs could serve only to enforce oppression and global domination. What about the United States? A German victory in Europe might have forced the US into a prolonged war, or worse, a negotiated peace. If Germany controlled Western Europe and North Africa, the balance of power would drastically shift. The US could become isolated, facing a world dominated by Axis powers. Trade, military strategy, and cultural influence would all be stifled. Could democracy survive across the Atlantic, or would America eventually face internal conflicts fueled by fear and propaganda? In the East, the consequences could be even more brutal. If Germany had defeated the Soviet Union, the territories of Russia, Ukraine, and beyond might have been subjected to harsh occupation. The Nazi regime, obsessed with Lebensraum, or living space, would displace millions, exploiting land and resources for their empire. Entire populations could be enslaved or exterminated, leaving a devastated Eastern Europe under totalitarian control. The ripple effects of a German victory would not stop at Europe. Japan, aligned with Germany, could consolidate its hold over Asia and the Pacific. African colonies would remain under European control far longer, with Nazi racial ideologies imposed harshly. South America might remain a contested zone, while the rest of the world would have to navigate a new global order dominated by oppressive regimes. Everyday life in this world would be shaped by fear. Music, literature, and art would be heavily censored or completely destroyed if they contradicted Nazi ideology. Education would become indoctrination. Cultural diversity and freedom of expression would vanish. Communities would live under constant surveillance, loyalty oaths, and propaganda. A dystopian society where every word, every thought could be monitored and punished. Despite the overwhelming power of the Third Reich, resistance movements would persist. Underground networks would rise, risking their lives to oppose oppression. These brave individuals could slowly change the tide, but the world would remain a grim and dangerous place for decades, with hope flickering like a fragile candle in a storm. Economically, a world ruled by Germany would be highly centralized and militarized. Industries would be focused on armaments, construction, and resource extraction. Nations outside the Reich's favor could face economic isolation or coercion. Forced labor, slavery, and exploitation of conquered populations would be routine. The global economy would revolve around the needs and priorities of the Nazi regime rather than equitable trade or prosperity. Scientific progress would continue, but at a horrific ethical cost. The Nazis were infamous for cruel experiments on humans. In a world where they had the freedom to expand their programs, medical research could be tainted with brutality. Humanity might benefit from technological leaps, but at a price no ethical society would ever accept. Imagine a 21st century under Nazi victory. A cold, controlled world where surveillance is absolute. Privacy is a concept of the past. Freedom is restricted to obedience. Education, art, and culture serve only the state. Governments do not serve citizens, they serve the Reich. The human spirit is subdued, creativity crushed, and fear is a constant companion. On the speculative side, Germany's technological edge could lead to early space exploration, advanced aircraft, or nuclear weapons under Nazi control. While this could sound impressive, the purpose would be global domination and control rather than peaceful advancement. Science and innovation would serve oppression rather than liberation. This alternate reality forces us to reflect on the value of freedom and democracy. The sacrifices of millions during World War II preserved a world where ideas, culture, and human rights could survive. History could have gone very differently, but it didn't. Today, we must remember the lessons of the past past and appreciate the freedoms we have, knowing that tyranny, if unchecked, can reshape the world. While it's terrifying to imagine a world ruled by Nazi Germany, this thought experiment reminds us of the power of courage, resistance, and resilience. If you found this exploration fascinating, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into history's most intriguing what-if scenarios. And remember, history shapes the present, but imagination helps us understand its possibilities.